So, entire Mandukya Upanishad is bringing our attention to what is reality. Reality has been indicated by the symbol. So, reality, and as we were talking about, that the $1 million lottery winning, is that real? Or the cat meowing and that $1 million disappearing is reality? This one and in life, we all know that we have tragedy, we have pain, we have misery. So this particular slide here is talking about, do you have a problem in life? And if you have problem, yes. Can you do something about it? We all know that one after another problem is going to come. And our experience says that we cannot do much about it. No. And then why worry about it? And if you did not have problem, then also why worry about it? The word seers, Rishi, what they see which we cannot see, because their mind is not connected to transient reality, temporary reality. So the great philosopher come seer, I will also call him, Kabir, a great guru, he has said that Guru Govind dono kare kake lagu paye balyari guru apne Govindiyo bataye. That means if a guru and so-called God, I'm using the word so-called, bear with me, if both these people are standing, who would I salute first? But then this Guru, Kabir, is saying that I am so indebted to Guru, giving me this eye to see the reality. That's why, more than bowing down to the reality, I will bow down to the Guru. All right. By the way, these are my parents. My initiation began when I was 6 years old, my father and mother. So, Balyari Guru Aapki, Govinda Diyo Bataye. Later on, I had privilege ever since until I left the country. There was a very plain, simple hall, nothing in it except a picture of yoga asana. It was in the same town I'm coming from, and it was called Chaitanya Yoga Ashram. Later on, and even now, the person who is guiding me is my great master, Swami Satyanand Saraswati. If we understand even one word or one sentence from Veda, some of the oldest, and if I may use the world oldest scripture, in which this golden sentence appears, Ano Bhadraha Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha. All it says that may noble thoughts come from all direction. It has no boundary, and understand what seers saw has absolutely no boundary. They never use the word my God and your God, my religion and your religion. Expansion is the key. Limitlessness is the key. Akash is the key. So, Ano Bhadraha Kratavo Yantu Vishwata. And I distinctly remember as of today, I've been very, very, very fortunate that for me and to me, this kind of thoughts, inspiration kept coming from all different directions. My oldest brother's best friend and my mentor as well. I had many mentors, but this guy sent me Diwali greetings card, just a plain piece of paper, and on that it was written just this sentence in pencil. And thereafter, all I can contemplate, and contemplate. I'm still learning this sentence. And I'm witnessing it, how beautifully, and I think most of you know that how the different inspiration come to me, all your love and your desires. This is also very powerful sentence. Kasminno bhagavo vignate sarvamidam vignatam bhavatiti. What does it say? Kasminno, that knowledge. Bhagavo vignate, so knowing which, vignate, sarvamidam, sarvam idam, all this knowledge, vignatam bhavatiti. Vignatam becomes knowledge or knowable. So what is it? And this is, by the way, just for your information, this is from Mandukya Upanishad. Okay? You can read on the top, says Mandukya Upanishad. It's not Mandukya, those are two different Upanishads. So Mandukya Upanishad, the centered key point is, why fumble anywhere else and explore through the libraries and seeking for the truth? It is that silence, having known, nothing else need to be known. Another one, and the key element of the practice of spirituality, practice of yoga, is Vismayo Yoga Bhumikaha. Vismay, surprise. Vismay, satisfaction of the curiosity. So what is the difference between other surprises and this Vismay? Other surprises can be quietened or can be fulfilled. We all know how the birthday surprise party comes into picture. Until you enter the hall, it is surprise. But moment you enter, you know that, oh yeah, this is the birthday party. But Vishma is such that the curiosity will remain curiosity, but you will not feel sorry for not having gotten the answer. That will remain curiosity forever. You look at the sky and try to find out, what is it? Scientists can tell us galaxies and galaxies and galaxies, but what is that? So here's the question. We all want to know what is life. No biologists, no physicists, no doctors can tell us what is life. So it will remain as an unanswered question. But just thinking of it alone will make you so happy, so blissful. Happiness is also not the word. So that is the fundamental foundation of yoga. We are not going to get anything out of yoga, but the situation will be that will be blissful thereafter. And you will continue seeking that journey. And it is not the destination which is a joy, but the journey is joy. So practice of yoga itself is Vishmay. And it's not just doing the bending and twisting of the body, but the state of mind to go beyond the mind. Without the seer, there are no object to be seen. That's what the science is talking about. And also the spiritual science is talking about. But what science talk about the seer is our five sensory organs. And the spiritual science is talking about something beyond these five senses. This, to quite a degree, this song, I know all of you can read Sanskrit, but this song tells us what is Om, what is Shiva. We'll just briefly enjoy the chanting of it.
Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Nityoham, Shuddhoham, Buddhoham, Muktoham, Nityoham, Shuddhoham, Buddhoham, Muktoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Advaitamananda Rupam Arupam, स्वरूपोऽहम् ब्रह्मोऽहम् ब्रह्मोऽहम् ब्रह्मा स्वरूपोऽहम् चिदोऽहम् चिदोऽहम् सच्चिदानन्दोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् शिव स्वरूपोऽहम्.
Briefly describing and taking some of this word, Shiva, auspicious, pure, purity, Aham, I, Swarupa, our own nature, Nitya, permanent. So when it says Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupaham, in other words, the entire reality is pure. Pure means the reality is not made up of anything else but itself. Nitya, permanent. That is the only thing which is permanent, and any transient element are not reality. Suddha, pure, Buddha, Buddhoham, that is enlightenment or enlightenment, which at the time of studying Ishavasya Upanishad, we were looking at the intelligence and the energy to be Isha. And that is the reality. Mukta, liberated. Mukta, free. Once having become aware of that is the permanent one, then there is nothing that binds us. That's why it is free. Advaita, non-dual. Us and the reality are not different. Rupam, it has a form and it doesn't have form. Form and formless. Formless, abstract. So you can find God whichever way we look at it. It may have a form. And you look at the sky and you just walk out and stand in your backyard or right in your house. Everything that you see is nothing but the reality. But if you could see not the form, but the deep inside as to what it is. Brahma, ever expanding reality. Chitta, conscious, meaning the element with which it is conscious, the element with which the movement takes place, element with which life is exhibited, that is Chit or Chid, and Ananda, the bliss. Of course, we can take months talking about it, but this is just to introduce what is Mandukya Upanishad is all about. Okay, Bhadra, that word will be coming at the time when we do the Shanti part for this Upanishad. No Upanishad will begin without Shanti part. Bhadra, auspicious. It's a very powerful word. Swasti, blessing. Dharma means to know the reality. And Dharma with which we are what we are. Ishvara, supreme controller. Isha, at the time of Ishavasya, we studied it is Siddhant, intelligent, Shakti, energy. So Isha, the controller, is intelligent plus energy. This is just to be aware that we may still think, what is the reality? Why we cannot get hold of? So some of the terminology. the stages of our knowledge: ignorance, knowledge, and Vishmaya. Now we are studying Mandukya Upanishad, that is knowledge. And we are ignorant about it. We all are. So we think, now I know that I know. But the very next moment, you will come to know that you don't know. And you're still seeking. You know, the seeker is always a seeker. Guru having imparted on us, we sometimes wonder what this Guru may be doing. Guru is still the seeker and enjoyer of Vishmaya, the word that we learned earlier. Stages of development: Agnana, Avrana, Vikshepa, Paroksha Gnana, Aparoksha Gnana, Dukkha Nivrutti, Ananda Prapti. Ignorance, those are the English translation. Avrana, the covering, the veil. At the time of Shivoham, we were studying the word Avrana, covering. Vikshepa, the disturbance that causes in our mind and in our daily life. That is error or suffering. And what is that error? We know that the pencil is bent. We know that my friend, he knew that he won the $1 million. Paroksha, indirect knowledge. We don't see the reality, but with this example, we are seeing it. And then direct knowledge, direct perception. This comes every single stage in the life that we come to realize that there is a reality and which is unknowable. But having tasted that reality, nothing further need to be tasted. So direct knowledge, transcending pain. As soon as we know the reality, then our pain gets transcended. Body may still feel the pain, but you will not feel the pain. And at that time, you will experience bliss, joy. 3 levels of maturity. Primary, the first level of maturity, that we say that the child is getting mature. And so what is that maturity? Needs and ego get satisfied. He wants certain thing, he go and gets it. And from various angles, he see that his dream, his ego gets satisfied. What is the second level? Others' ego satisfaction. Others' ego, when somebody else other than you also feels that, oh my God, you have reached the mountain of accomplishment. So the other's ego also gets satisfied for you. And the third level, inquiry into true self. Then you come to know these are all ego. Today it is, tomorrow it will not be. Then what is it that you will start inquiring and see what is happening to all of us today? We want to know, who am I after all? So the 2 questions around which the whole world wonders today, Koham and Kuto Jagat. Who am I and what is the Jagat around us? So Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. Jiva, individual self, Jagat, the world, and Ishvara, the controller. If there is any, then who is it? The scriptures, 4 scriptures, in which the reality has been seen, shown, and discussed and studied, are called Vedas. There are 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samveda, and Atharva Veda. Going not much into the detail, all it is, again, let me tell you, there is not a single Veda in which the word God appears. We're talking about all the abstract form and cosmic power. So the cosmic power is acknowledged and is described. So this is the earlier part of Veda. The second part is called Brahmana. In other words, all those cosmic power, cosmic intelligence, as to how it can be invoked in us. We all have, because we are part of the reality. And the third part, which is Gnanakanda, and which is the concise knowledge of intelligence. And those are Upanishad. And those are also called Vedanta. Vedanta. So it's not the end of the Veda, understand. Veda is ever flowing. But since they appear at the end of the Veda, it's called Vedanta. And the word Upanishad is made up of the word Upani and Sad. There are a couple other explanations, but this with which I feel comfortable and I would like you to know. So the scripture Upanishad, all Upanishad, they are called Upa means closer or near. Ni means to sit in an ignorant state. I will explain in a minute. And Sat means to sit and learn. So it is to sit near or with the master, Guru, with a completely blank mind, not to teach the Guru that what you know. So Upanishad and the spiritual process is a process with which first we unlearn what we learn, because most of us, we know that we know. If I ask anybody about the word jiva or the consciousness, yes, people will pour in with explanation. But do you experience that? So Upanishad, this is again are the scriptures, mind you. That's why earlier I requested that please contemplate on every word what we are talking about and try to understand the level of ignorance, the level of I know that I know, and the level how much not to know what you know. This is so important to understand now. This is the way we are developing the subject, understand. Advaita is teaching us this. Veda, Upanishad are teaching us synthesis. And anything else that we know is talking to us about division. If you talk about the modern days religion, you will say, this is not your religion, it is my religion. So the religion has a boundary that divides between human, that divides between human and animal, that divides between human and nature. So division divides it and ultimately leads you to that. Synthesis unites, and that brings the life. This is also very, very important point. I will highly request you to kindly contemplate the subject and object. We all know about the word subject literally, but this is not that. Subject an object. Subject is not the object. Sometimes people say, what a stupid statement. But understand, once you define the subject, it will never be an object. An object is not the subject. Subject is just one that we talked about, Shivoham, Shivoham. And earlier we knew that having known which, nothing needs to be known. And that, at the time of studying Ishavasya, the last but one sloka we learn, Soham Asmi, that is what I am. So that I here is the subject. And so the subject is only one, cannot be many, but the objects are many. Subject is constant, permanent, while the object vary. Jagatyam, Jagat. This what we already saw, but now it is also the time to know that what is that knowledge, what is that intelligence, what is that abstract reality that once having known, nothing needs to be known. Vismayo Yoga Bhumika, subjective surprise, is the basic requirement for yoga. Subjective, the word. Biosound, the Om, symbol Om, it's a vibration, it's a sound, it's a letter, it's a word, it's a name. It has form and it is formless, and hence all inclusive. Matra refers to some time element. Okay, so it is matra and amatra. It has a time, it doesn't have a time. It is Om and it is silence. It is form and it is formless. It is time and it is no time. How paradoxical language, but will make use of the language to go beyond language. At this stage in the game, dear friend, this is Shanti Mantra for Mandukya Upanishad. I will explain this mantra, but first, so next time onward, we'll begin with this mantra, Shanti Path, and we'll get into the Upanishad. So here.
भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Okay, we will get into the beauty and the details of the Shanti Mantra, but here are some of the explanation. Om Bhadram Karne Bhi. Bhadram, what is auspicious? What is so pleasing to us? What is leading to the reality, which brings our mind a peace, joy, bliss, compassion. So Bhadram, one word is so powerful, but we can simply say auspicious. So The prayer is requesting the supreme reality that by my ears or with my ears, see that I hear only Bhadra. And what is here, Bhadra, that will remove my ignorance and I will come to know that I am the reality. And I am not that $1 million, nor I am that cat meowing. And just let me not take this Shanti mantra right now. Next Thursday, we'll talk about it, but I have to share with you one of the Purana story, and that is about the King Janak, okay? And that in the retreat we have shared about. So the story goes, one of the aspirant spiritual seeker and to quite a degree realized soul, the King Janak. So King Janak was sleeping, and in the sleep he dreamt, and while he was sleeping, he screamed so loud, so the attendant rushed to him and saying that, Master, what could we do? Why do you see any danger? We have our armament ready. And the guards kept asking, and he kept saying, is this true or that is true? So the guard didn't understand. And what he dreamt of was that he was defeated in a war by the neighboring king. And neighboring king has punished him, saying that either I kill you or I kick you out of this country. So he chose to be kicked out of the country. He was given plain clothes, no sandals, no hose, no armament, no food, no water, and he had to leave the country. And he was also told that if anybody from this country even offers you a glass of water, I'm going to kill him. So he kept on walking. He got exhausted. And just understand, the king of the country now is nothing, transient element again. So when he reaches to the borderline of the country, to the next country, he saw some food distribution was going on. He stood in the line, again understand, king of that country, standing in the line like a beggar to get the food. When his turn came, the food ran out. And he was looking at it and he says, look at this. So, but then the distributor guy was kind enough. He says, there may be some food stuck to the side of the pot. If you want me to, I will scrub and give it to you. And he gives it on a broken pot, which he didn't have. He found it, a piece of broken pot on the street. And the distributor guy puts little bit of scrubbed food into that pot, and he was just about to put it to his mouth. At that time, a bird comes and knocks that pot or the piece of the pot on the floor, and he could not eat. And at that time, when he saw this, he screamed so heavy. And that scream was heard by all the attendant, all the guards of the king in the king's palace. That is what you were dreaming. Like my friend Ted Blasberg, the cat disturbed. He was disturbed by not having that food. So the god came and called the queen, saying that our master is under arrest, please come. So the queen came and asked her, says, my dear beloved, what can I do? Why did you scream? So at that time he says, is this real or that is real? So the queen says, what are you talking? What is this and that? Again, he says, is this real or that is real? Then queen thought that maybe he cannot talk to us. Maybe it may be man's talk. So they brought their son, the prince, and prince come and he says, Dad, what is the story? Tell me. I will take care of it. Whosoever is scaring you. And again, at that time, he's saying, is this real or that is real? Yes, such or was such truth. He did not, he gave up. Then they call a hakim or a Vaidya or Ayurvedic doctor in the kingdom. He came to judge his kind of a fear or disease. And he came and he says, sir, my dear king, what is the story? Again, the same statement. Is this real or that is real? So finally, some wise person came and he says, nobody will understand him. Just call his guru. So his guru came and guru is putting his hand on his shoulder and he says, hey Janak, what is the story? Why are you afraid of? And even to his guru, he says, is this real or that is real? That question we'll be discussing next Thursday. And that question, and the answer to this question is all about the entire Mandukya Upanishad. I so much appreciate all you all for joining. Observe the silence for a minute and we'll end with Shantipat.
भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु